Tell her it's a game.
Tell her it's serious.
Don't frighten her. Don't tell her they'll kill her.
Tell her it's important to be quiet.
Tell her she'll have cake if she's good.
Tell her to curl up as if she's in bed.
But not to sing.
Tell her not to come out.
Tell her not to come out even if she hears shouting.
Don't frighten her.
Tell her not to come out even if she hears nothing for a long time.
Tell her we'll come and find her.
Tell her we'll be here all the time.
Tell her something about the men.
Tell her that they're bad in the game.
Tell her it's a story.
Tell her they'll go away.
Tell her she can make them go away if she stays still.
By magic.
But not to sing. Tell her this is a photograph of her grandmother, her uncles and me.
Tell her her uncles died.
Don't tell her they were killed.
Tell her they were killed.
Don't frighten her. Tell her her grandmother was clever.
Tell her she was brave.
Tell her she taught me how to make cakes. Don't tell her what they did.
Well, tell her something.
Tell her more when she's older.
Tell her there were people who hated Jews.
Don't tell her. Tell her it's over now.
Tell her there are still people who hate Jews.
Tell her there are people who love Jews. Don't tell her to think Jews or not Jews. Tell her more when she's older.
Tell her how many when she's older.
Tell her it was before she was born and she's not in any danger. Don't tell her there's any question of danger. Tell her we love her.
Tell her, dead or alive, her family all love her.
Tell her her grandmother would be proud of her. Don't tell her we're going forever.
Tell her she can write to her friends. Tell her her friends can maybe come and visit.
Tell her it's sunny there.
Tell her we're going home.
Tell her it's the land God gave us.
Don't tell her religion.
Tell her her great, lots of greats granddad lived there.
Don't tell her he was driven out.
Tell her. Of course tell her. Tell her everyone was driven out and the country is waiting for us to come home.
Don't tell her she doesn't belong here.
Tell her of course she likes it here, but she'll like it there even more.
Tell her it's an adventure. Tell her no one will tease her.
Tell her she'll have new friends.
Tell her she can take her toys. Don't tell her she can take all her toys.
Tell her she's a special girl.
Tell her about Jerusalem.
Anuknu
Hoikim
hai paeta
Sehat katkam.
Don't tell her who they are. Tell her something.
Tell her they're Bedouin. They travel about.
Tell her about camels in the desert and dates.
Tell her they live in tents.
Tell her this wasn't their home.
Don't tell her home. Not home. Tell her they're going away. Don't tell her they don't like her. Tell her to be careful.
Don't tell her who used to live in this house.
No, but don't tell her her great-great-grandfather used to live in this house.
No, but don't tell her Arabs used to sleep in her bedroom.
Tell her not to be rude to them.
Tell her not to be frightened.
Don't tell her she can't play with the children. Don't tell her she can have them in the house.
Tell her they have plenty of friends and family.
Tell her for miles and miles all around they had lands of their own.
Tell her again, this is our promised land.
Don't tell her they told us it was a land without people.
Don't tell her I wouldn't have come if I'd known.
Tell her maybe we can share.
Don't
tell
tell
her
her
that.
Tell her that her brother's a hero.
Tell her how big their armies are.
Tell her that we turned them back.
Tell her that we're fighters.
Tell her that we've got new land. Don't tell her.
Don't tell her the trouble about the swimming pool.
Tell her it's our water. We have the right.
Tell her it's not the water for their fields.
Don't tell her anything about water.
Don't tell her about the bulldozer.
Don't tell her not to look at the bulldozer.
Don't tell her it was knocking the house down.
Tell her it's a building site.
Don't tell her anything about bulldozers.
Don't tell her about the queues at the checkpoint.
Tell her we'll be there in no time.
Don't tell her anything she doesn't ask.
Don't tell her the boy was shot.
Don't tell her anything.
Tell her we're making new farms in the desert.
Don't tell her about the olive trees.
Tell her we're building new towns in the wilderness.
Don't tell her they throw stones.
Tell her they're not good much use against tanks.
Don't tell her that.
Don't tell her they set off bombs in cafes.
Tell her they set off bombs in cafes.
Tell her to be careful.
Don't frighten her.
Tell her we need the wall to keep us safe.
Tell her they want to drive us into the sea.
Tell her they don't.
Tell her they want to drive us into the sea.
Tell her we kill far more of them.
Don't tell her that.
Tell her that.
Tell her we're stronger.
Tell her we're entitled.
Tell her they don't understand anything except violence.
Tell her we want peace.
Tell her we're going swimming.
Tell her she can't watch the news.
Tell her she can watch cartoons.
Tell her she can stay up late and watch Friends.
Tell her they're attacking with rockets. Don't frighten her.
Tell her only a few of us were killed.
Tell her the army have come to our defense.
Don't tell her cousin refused to serve in the army.
Don't tell her how many of them have been killed.
Tell her the Hamas fighters have been killed.
Tell her they're terrorists.
Tell her they're filth. Don't.
Don't tell her about the family of dead girls.
Tell her you can't believe what you see on the news.
Tell her we killed the babies by mistake.
Don't tell her anything about the army.
Tell her. Tell her about the army. Tell her to be proud of the army. Tell her about the family of dead girls. Tell her their names. Why not? Tell her the whole world knows. Why shouldn't she know? Tell her there's dead babies. Did she see babies? Tell her she has nothing to be ashamed of. Tell her they did it to themselves. Tell her they want their children killed to make people feel sorry for them. Tell her I don't feel sorry for them. Tell her she shouldn't feel sorry for them. Tell her we're the ones to be sorry for. Tell her they can't talk suffering to us. Tell her we're the iron fist now. Tell her it's the fog of war. Tell her we won't stop killing them until we're safe. Tell her I laughed when I saw the dead policemen. Tell her their animals living in rubble now. Tell her I wouldn't care if we wiped them all out. The whole world would hate us is the only thing. But tell her I don't care if the world hates us. Tell her we're better haters. Tell her we're chosen people. Tell her when I see one of their children covered in blood, what do I feel? Tell her all I feel is happy it's not her.
Don't tell her that.
Tell her we love her.
Don't frighten her.